Gemini, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early November 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our feet into the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Gemini collective. What's going on, my gods? I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My gods, talk to me. What's happening for the Geminis in early November, aka Scorpio season? Let's see what's happening. What energies, messages, insights can we take a look at for our friends? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Gemini. Please and thank you. What's happening? What's the vibe? What are the energies floating around out there, please? There we go. Nice and quick. Okay. So energetic attachments could really be at the forefront of this week's reading. And of course, when we see these two individuals, it could be other things as well. But to me, this card is always one of like, all right, who and what you are attached to energetically could be very important. I think it's always important, but it could have a little more precedence right now. But before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the November subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more about this card. So visually, this is a nice piece of illustration. We see that man there. There's a woman. She's coming out of a mirror, and not in like a scary horror movie type of way. This implies a few different things. Now, it could represent two people that are at a distance from each other. To me, and it does feel like these two people are connected and they're talking. Of course, we could be looking at soul ties, soul connections. I don't like to really put every message in for just love alone. That's why I say, to me, with this card, I personally believe that when we form bonds with people, when we form bonds with places, there is an energetic feedback. There's a cord that grows from that. So for in this time, Gemini, a lot of you, whether it's an individual that you're romantic with, or a person that's a very dear friend, a very close family member, a place that holds some importance to you, there's some sort of energetic exchange that spirit wants you to take a look at. Now, it's up to you. Is this a healthy exchange? Is this something that is beneficial to you? Is it a little draining? It all really depends on the situations you're going through, because if you're feeling drained by someone or something, this card could show it, but it could also show when people or things lift us up as well. So just keep a close eye on who and what you're attached to. And we'll just leave it at that for now. We're going to put them right there. Let's get into tarot now. And I always like to say that first card doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the beautiful Geminis, please. What's going on in early November? And yeah, while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading, my friends. Good vibe, which was nice for the most part. The reading was titled A Surprising Situation. Now, I know that type of reading could go both ways. I mean, not every time is a surprise good. Not every time is it bad. But keep your head on a swivel in the coming days and weeks, because there could be things popping up that you weren't expecting to pop up. Might be beneficial for some of you. For others, it could be a challenge. It all really depends. Just don't get caught with your feet flat or off guard. But let's see what shows up for you this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So when we take this out, it's for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or someone that you're linked to. Let's get it going here. What do we have for Gemini in early November, please? What is the vibe for my good friends? There we go. That's a good start. We're starting with the Ace of Pentacles. That is a good start. That could be conversational as well. So we might be looking at some news or conversation. We will talk about that. I really like the Ace of Pentacles in the leadoff spot. I feel like that's a nice, powerful place. Let's get a couple more. Okay, we have the Devil in position number 2. Something we're going to want to look at a little further, that's for sure. Let's get one more out here. Let's see what we have for Gemini, please. I feel like I've seen that Devil for you in recent weeks, which, again, you know, that's not a bad card. No card is completely good or bad. It's just an overabundance of earthy type of energy, especially with this 10 of Pentacles here on the back end. So this is reading to me in a very unique way, okay, especially since they're all the same element. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, obviously I already mentioned it. These are all the same exact element. We have earth, earth, earth. Now, that could be very good. For some of you, maybe it is a focus on the monetary, career, the material world itself, family, living situation, you name it. All those things could be under this earthy umbrella. Earth energy is very long lasting. So whether it's situations you've been dealing with for quite a while, for some of you, it could be something that might linger for a little bit. But the one thing that I love here is that we're starting with the ace, the first card of the suit. We're ending with the 10, the last one, the last numbered card. So it's like we have a journey here. It's like we have the start, then we have like something in the middle. This could be a little problematic. And then boom, we have the ending, which could be good. So some of you could be in the midst of a journey. Who knows where on the spectrum you are. But let's go through each one bit by bit and really start to build this out. So position number one, we're starting here with the Ace of Pentacles. Love it. And you know, I love all aces. To me, they all represent offers and opportunities. Specifically, this Ace of Pentacles. You see the universe handing over that pentacle. Okay, so of course I find this as a victorious win-based type of card. It's an opportunity or an offer for sure. Aces do also link into communication. So whether it's giving or receiving news, a conversation of some sort. So this is going to be very important for us to really get more detail on. The positive of aces, it's like, all right, you have the whole world ahead of you where there's a lot of opportunity available. The challenge when it comes to this golden opportunity from the universe is that it's limited time only. So whenever I see any ace, it's like, it's not going to be there forever. You got to make the most of it right now. You need to seize the day when this type of card comes out. So just know there could be something you're dealing with where it's like, all right, well, if you don't take action towards it, this could turn upside down, then it's a missed opportunity. But I don't want to fully go that route just yet. We're just leading off with that Ace of Pentacles. And for some of you, it could just be a conversation, of course. Now, moving to the center, as we continue our journey across the main part, we're stopped here at the Devil in the center. Now, it's not all bad. It's not meant to be scary. For a portion of you, you might just be connected to a Capricorn, right? They get this card because of the goat symbolism. Maybe you have Capricorn placements yourself. And when I see this card, of course, there's a whole laundry list of situation, issues, and problems that could be attached to this card. But let's look at the overall energy of the Devil. It's similar to the Hierophant. This is a strong, earthy, planted type of energy. So again, it shows us things that we're either holding on to, things that we may be dealing with for quite a while. This is like a thorn in the side type of energy when we see this Devil. Big focus on the material world as well with all this earthy energy, and it just keeps showing up. Now, the Devil is a really tough energy to move out normally. So when I just see it here, yeah, it could just represent a problem or a situation. But to me, it's like we're starting a journey, there's a bump in the road, and then we have a possible ending. And we'll talk about that a little more. In regards to connections and behaviors, the Devil can be addictive. It can represent habits. It can represent toxicity in connections. It can represent obsession and jealousy. You see what I mean? There's like a big umbrella over this card itself. So we'll get more detail on it and see exactly what it could be. Now, we're going to place it right here in the middle spot once again, and we'll see if that's something new or maybe something you've overcome. But on the back end here, we have the 10 of Pentacles, one of the best cards in the whole entire deck. So just like with the rest of them, it could be that focus on work, money, finances, career, you name it. This is a very expansive, level up type of energy when I see the 10 of Pentacles. It's win, it's victory, it's overcoming. You know, this is like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. When we start off on a journey, this is the result we're looking for. So we'll see how it all plays out. It's a happy ending, so to speak. In its positive sense, it's just really lovely and it's huge. Now, in the challenge of the 10 of Pentacles, just like with all earthy energy, sometimes it could be a little stubborn. Sometimes it could be a little immovable. Sometimes it's something that could be frustrating because it's taking so long. So we're going to want to look into this further for sure. But I already told you how it's looking to me, how it's reading in a very intriguing way. Like we could be looking at a journey. We're really going to want to pay extra close attention to the back end here. So I want to dive deeper on all the Gemini. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What's happening for Gemini, please? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Ace of Pentacles. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Gemini, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Ace of Pentacles, what's up? Quick, Hierophant. Yeah, didn't I just compare this devil and the Hierophant? Okay, this is a long road for some of you, and this does not feel bad to me whatsoever. This could be some really good news coming your way, but notice how all of the energy in this spread this week is very much planted. So just know certain situations you're dealing with right now could have long-term implications. Okay, whether they're the issue, whether they're the good things. Now, I know Gemini is a malleable type of sign. You guys are very adaptable. You're good at going with the flow. When there's an issue or a problem, you can adapt and change your approach. Not every sign can do that. But when I see this energy here in the front end, it's like, no, well, it is what it is, for better or for worse. It's like giving me that kind of vibe as well. But I'm also still getting the energy that you might be receiving some good news in this time. If this is a conversation that we're picking up, if it is a talk of some kind, this could be a good one. Okay, this could be some like really exciting or good news coming in, but it's intriguing me how planted this energy is. So maybe some of you, there's certain situations that they're just out of your hands. I mean, whether they're going to go great and good and solid and be great for your future, or whether it's going to be a little more challenging. Whatever road you walk, it's kind of like, all right, well, there's only so much I could do about it, but I'm going to walk that road either way. So I like the Hierophant here. Taurus energy, of course, so you might be connected to a Taurus when this shows up, but it's like the inverse. Notice how the Hierophant and the Devil, they look similar. Right? Like, notice two people, they both have their hand up. They're both on a throne. So this is a very intriguing play of how this earthy energy is going. Let's keep moving forward. For some of you, maybe it is a fork in the road. I saw that with, I think, Leo possibly this week, where there's a situation where it's like either going to go that way or that way. But let's keep moving forward. Let's see why the devil's here. Why is the devil in the mix? Thank you. Yeah, and just like I was saying, and this card is similar to these other ones. Circumstances that are quite out of your hands, or were, or are. I guess it depends on where you are in your journey. We have the Emperor in reverse underneath this devil, okay? And let's talk about the Emperor. And another thing I will say about all of these cards, if we were to flip him in the upright, notice how they are all very similar. They're all on a throne. They all represent positions of authority. They all have long-lasting implications showing up here. Now, the Emperor did show up in reverse. You might be connected to an Aries. This is also like borderline Taurus energy too, depending on who you ask. But when I see the Emperor in reverse, it's like, all right, there's just something I can't control. Okay, either that or you're dealing with somebody that has like a lock on something, and it's like, I mean, there's nothing I could really do. It's like giving me that kind of energy, and it can be very frustrating. That's kind of like what I'm picking up with all this grounded type of energy, especially coming off a mutable sign reading, where normally Gemini energy is so adaptable. You can make shifts and make changes where necessary. All this planted energy is a little frustrating with me, to be honest. Now, when the devil shows up with this Emperor in reverse, it can just represent a problem that you've already gone through, or a problem that was kind of placed in your lap, where it's like, okay, well, I didn't do anything to bring that in. It just kind of happened. It's like giving me that kind of vibe. So we could be looking at a little bump in the road as well, if this is a problem that we're looking at. The big thing is going to be this back end 10 of Pentacles here. It also feels like a power struggle of sorts as well. I'm getting this very bizarre type of energy. There's a power struggle here, but let's go in on that 10 of Pentacles, see if we could get a final result. And we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow card. Definitely the most unique one I've done in this filming session, that's for sure. But let's see why that 10 of Pentacles is here for you. And we'll get into the shadow. Yeah, for some of you, this could be doubt. There could be something you're doubting, or self-doubt. That could be very possible. But let's see why that 10 of Pentacles is here for you. Why is that 10 of Pentacles here? Thank you. I mean, at some point, when we have the 4 of Pentacles in reverse, it's like something opens up. It's like the grip on something opens up. I like what I'm feeling here, but I just want to mention again, aside from this Emperor, this is all earthy energy here. In this week's reading, we have all the authority figures, all the earthy. We have the 4 of Pentacles, which is usually in the upright, clamped down, immovable, not doing anything. The fact that it's in reverse, I do feel like if you are experiencing some self-doubt, this isn't something that's coming like right away. This is going to be a little bit of a process. However, if you are having an issue or a problem, don't feel like that's fully derailed you, because right here on the back end, this could be a big, massive win here. I really do feel it. Now let's talk about this Four of Pentacles. When we're talking finances, this is a good card. When we're talking about saving up for big things, this is a great card. But when we're talking about emotions, when we're talking about possible situations or issues, this Four of Pentacles isn't really letting go, and sometimes it could be even a little grudgy. When it flips up in reverse, it's releasing. It's letting it go. It's letting it flow. So although we have like all these outside circumstances, we have all these different outside stimulus, I do feel like at the end of the day, when this process is through, there is a massive winner victory here. That's just how it feels to me on the back end with this Four of Pentacles in reverse under the 10. So it's good. It's just not fast. It's just not fast enough. I don't know why I keep feeling that type of energy, but let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. I'd say overall this is good, a little frustrating. So just know you might have a little tension in you in the coming days and weeks, but if you kindly look in the box here, lots of energies playing back and forth, a complex reading this week for you. Position number 1, we have the Ace of Pentacles with the Hierophant. I mean, whether this is like a good news or a good opportunity, I did say like for the whole reading, there could be certain things going on right now that have long-lasting implications, where it's like, no, this isn't a short-term thing. Maybe you're going through a process. It all really depends. Some of you could be receiving some good news for sure with that alignment up front, which is nice. Moving to the center is where we have outside circumstances. We have the Devil with the Emperor in reverse. So it's like things that are out of my hands, things are out of my control. And that happens to a lot of people in life at a lot of different times. We can only control how we react to things. We can't always control the things that happen to us or the things that pop into our lives. So of course, this can look like a problem, a bump in the road, a roadblock, however we want to put it. And it does feel like something where it's either just got to be a process or something about it could be out of your hands. There's like power struggle going on with all these different authority figures. It's very peculiar. But moving to the back end, we have the 10 of Pentacles with the 4 of Pentacles in reverse, where the grip is loosened up, where this energy, this tight energy that's clamped down, opens. So I feel on this back end, there is a massive victory. However, there is a process. It doesn't feel like it's coming in explosively. It's like it just time. You need some time, or just the process needs to be worked through for whatever reason. But I do love the end result, because it feels big and it feels good. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Let's see what's in the shadows for you. So let's get a good shuffle here for you, Gemini. What's going on here for my good friends? And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going. What do we have here in the shadows for Gemini? Nice and quick for my friends. Thank you. Okay, Queen of Cups. Interesting. So for some of you, if you're connected to a water sign, they could be showing up here. I generally like the Queen of Cups because I feel like, yeah, there's an emotional intensity here. So just know for some Geminis, maybe emotionally in this time, you might have a little more intensity of feeling that you're experiencing, whether that's for good, bad, could be nervousness, you name it. The Queen of Cups is all about the internals of a person and how they process emotion, but she does also represent deep love and care and nurturing, and she can be very good. I feel just seeing her in the shadows, though, does tell me certain situations you're dealing with could go a little deeper than the surface shows. Okay, it could be a little more complex than people might think, or even than you might think. There's a lot more moving parts. That's how this feels to me, especially if you're not connected to a water sign. I do feel like this is good, and it points to a good result, but there's a lot of depth here. So Gemini, that's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The November subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can check out my digital calendar and book one on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. But for the November subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of one of my all-time favorite decks, the Gilded Tarot Royale. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, 2 simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the tarot cards, which one do you feel is the most misunderstood? And if you're new to tarot completely, which one do you have a little trouble with understanding its meaning? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.